Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane Spider's Anthology as we continue the reference materials. So, that was actually the last, the last thing we had a thing for. So now we're just going to do a structures grab bag, I guess. So here we can see some of the generic models for airports. So yeah, this whole strip is just one entity. And we can see this one, I believe, was for sure in the Vietnam expansion pack, maybe also in the Coral Islands and base United States Navy fighters game. This one was in ATF, that's ATF. As you can see, ATF had a lot more variety for airports. Ooh, we got there we go. Oh, I see what's happening. We're above the clouds. That's why everything turns look like that. So, a couple different designs and kind of neat. Lets you do different things with each one. A lot of the old Soviet type. Here we have just some generic apartments. Here we have a barracks. You can see there's even a door painted on it. Actually, two doors. Another barracks. The only difference is the color. Here we can see a bridge. Oh, there we have another bridge of a different style. Another bridge of a different style. Yet another bridge of a different style. There we go. Now we got a bunker, which curiously has windows in it. I would think bunkers would not want windows. I mean, this could probably be a door, but... Or maybe they aren't windows. Maybe they're just air vents. That could be... That's probably the more reasonable explanation. We have a castle, which is more of an Easter egg than anything, but it is... I believe in one of the early Baltic missions, there's an island with a castle on it. It's unmarked, but if you fly out to it, you can see it. And it looks like the center is pretty... Honestly, it looks kind of like just a church with a wall, but... City slum, we saw this plenty in the Vietnam campaign. Alternate arrangement to spice things up. Here we have a command headquarters. Looks like maybe a garage there. Oh, there's the door. I guess that's just reinforced concrete and some more doors there. Another one, this one with additional radio antennas and what looks like a smaller, more reinforced structure, as we can see. Com block. I don't know what community block, maybe? That would be my guess. We can even see the signs. RIM 50. I can't read Vietnamese. Online. It's weird that they're using English when they're in Vietnam. Like, maybe you could make that excuse today for tourism or whatnot, but I don't think that would have flew in the 70s, not during the Vietnam War. We can see there's different arrangements of the same assets. Just make things a little bit different, at least. Here we go, command and control bunker with a single large opening at the front, presumably a garage to receive vehicles. Control towers, we have control tower 2. And then tower 1. One of my favorite targets in the original USN of 97. I love blowing these things up. Another control tower variant. And yet another control tower variant. Here we have a crane. So this is obviously one for ports for the loading and unloading of container cargo ships. We have a dock here. Just a simple pier, really, more than anything. A dock house, which these were targets of ours a couple of times. We see there's a garage door on both sides to aid in the receiving and sending of materials through forklifts and whatnot and trucks. Here's another dock house. Kind of a different arrangement with the garage doors on the side. It's a bit larger. Factory. I honestly can say I've never seen a factory that looks like this, but and I mean, I guess I don't know, if you count a machining shop as a factory, then yes, I work in one, and it does not look like this. Here's another one that looks more like a hangar than anything, or at least the hangars that you see in the game. We see there's doors on both ends. Presumably raw material comes in one side, finished material comes out. Another factory. I don't think this was in USNF 97 though. This might have been introduced in ATF. Another interesting looking factory. Looks like they're using a very old building to make stuff here. Another factory. That kind of looks more like some of the factories I see around here. Garage doors, heat exchangers. Another set of loading docks. You can see they have a nice little wooden walkway out back. Fuel tank, a very common and popular target. You can even see the staircase they have painted on the side there, so impressive amount of detail. And this, I believe, is supposed to be rust, that red speckling everywhere. So definitely some detail there. Here we have a ground control intercept radar, although it's not going to see much considering it's not pointed at the sky. Here we go. Here's some hangars, which should only have the one opening. Yeah. Here's another hangar, a nice big blue one. I love dropping bombs on these too because they're so delicate. All you gotta do is drop a 500-pounder in through the roof and it's done for. Here we go, hardened command and control center. We can see the vents are a lot smaller on this guy, and it's been reinforced with additional communications relays for better command and control. Here we have a hardened aircraft shelter. Might stop a direct 500-pound hit, might, but it's definitely not going to stop anything bigger from punching through. Here's another variant. And another variant. And another variant. There's another color variant. And then we have yet another variant. A lot of these are actually from the Egyptian campaign, it looks like, based on the desert coloring. And another variant. Man, they sure had colors for everyone. Here we go, an industrial block. This is something new. Definitely a better fit if you wanted to make a than just like the single building factory buildings. I would rather just go with the industrial block. It looks a lot more complete, in my opinion. Maybe pair this with the industrial building that had the heat exchanger or the smokestacks on it. Here's another industrial block. Another good pairing option to make something look really expansive, because everything requires a lot of buildings these days. It's not just one facility. Medium bridge, a medium bridge segment. So in theory, you can build your own bridges anywhere by just placing this on one side, placing it on the other side, rotating 180 degrees, and then you place the center span somewhere. That's a lot of detail though, for very little reward when you can use, but it can cover a much larger span. I suppose that's the benefit there if, say, you wanted to simulate Putin's Crimea bridge and bomb that. Here's a microwave communications dish. We've bombed a couple of those. Here's a larger communications tower with 3 antennas. A MIM-23 site, so this carries, we actually don't see the MIM-23 Hawk batteries, but we do see some tents for the people manning the battery and what I presume is the engagement radar at the center of the battery there. We have a missile silo, which I think these were targeting the Kuril Islands, but I'm not sure if they were actually nuclear capable or not. Obviously, they're just a static object in game, but actually, does the MIM? Okay, it doesn't have. Here we have an oil well station. I'm not sure, maybe this came up in the Baltics campaign, but I don't think it ever did. It's definitely something added with ATF. Same with this passive radar. So this to me, just based on its size, means it's very low wavelength. You know, it's or actually passive radar might just be purely for receiving signals and not transmitting and receiving. Here's another one. Different wavelengths since it's got a different antenna shape there. Prison compound. So these were used in the Vietnam campaign a lot. Reactor relay. This is one of the parts they typically use when they build a nuclear power plant in the game. You can see all the transformers in there. Reactor tower. The cooling tower, the heat exchanger, whatever you want to call it. The thing that's basically synonymous with nuclear power reactors. Here's the actual reactor building that contains the reactor. I think they use this for like oil-powered power plants too for the Vietnam campaign. Here we have a random reactor dome. No one knows what's in it. Here's another dome, different color, PG-37. And an office, which I don't think that was in the USNF 97. I don't remember it, at least. This is an asset from, we got some glitch in there. They just called this the reactor, which is wrong. Here we go, an SA-3 site. You can see these are supposed to contain the SA-3 launchers here, but it looks like they just have the supports, and then presumably the headquarters is at the center there in those tents or buildings or whatever. A shelter, which looks indistinguishable from some of the other CNC and bunker variants we've seen. Small airport, which is just a small landing strip, meant more for Harriers and helicopters than anything else. It's supposed to represent an improvised airstrip. Small bridge, so another thing that's kind of, you know, build it yourself. Storage unit. It's not much, it's just a building and a door. HCNC Super, so this is a super hardened command and control center. And yeah, it definitely looks reinforced. Here's the Tall King radar, which looks basically identical to the ground control intercept radar we saw earlier. This might have just been like, actually no, I think these were both in USNF 97, so I don't know why they have the same asset with two names. But here's the temporary bridge, which is another kind of do-it-yourself bridge, but definitely a popular target in the Vietnam campaign. Here we have the Harrier tent, which is obviously the detail is a lot less low, which is why it's entirely sprite-based, but you know, you can use these to spruce up your improvised airstrips with some Harriers. Warehouse. Okay, there's the garage doors. I was gonna say, you need some garage doors to move the forklifts in and out. Here we have a windmill. Very nice looking windmill. Look, it even moves when we zoom in and out. Very, very slowly. You know, just like some of the other radar stuff that gets animated when we move around it in the reference materials. And we have looped back around to the airport. So that's it for our structures, and next time we'll be beginning our final section, the missiles. So look forward to that. And with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.